Hey guys, what is up? Modern Hoops here, and I am back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls in the season they had. Now, I think we all remember during this past off season, D Wade leaving the Heat and going to Chicago. And if you don't remember, here's a short little clip.
But I want to congratulate you because you are the newest Chicago Bull, is that correct?
Thank you.
And it was a pretty big surprise, and the reason he left the Heat to go to Chicago is he felt like he wasn't being respected by the Heat franchise, and he felt like he wasn't getting paid enough for what he has done for the Heat. I mean, he brought the Heat 3 NBA championship. And another reason why he left the Heat to go to Chicago is because, if you guys didn't know, Chicago is D Wade's hometown. That's where he grew up, and that's where he always wanted to play, and it was just a dream for him to go play in his hometown, Chicago. And another piece that they acquired was Rajon Rondo. Now, if you guys don't know, Rajon Rondo is a 4-time NBA All-Star, a 4-time NBA All-Defensive Team member, and a 1-time NBA champion. And they also had a big man in Robin Lopez. So when you put that all together, what do you have? And during that time, no one really knew, because you had a out of prime D Wade, and in the past, Rajon Rondo has proven to have bad team chemistry issues, but nevertheless, it was still an experiment. And you could say it was just like the New York Knicks, because you had a team of rusted stars and you didn't really know how they would do together during the season. But the thing is, one thing they did differently than the Knicks is that they didn't hype themselves up and call themselves a super team. So let's just fast forward to almost the end of the season, and looking back, they didn't necessarily have a good season, but I mean, it was 100 times better than what the Knicks had, but they mostly had an odd season. And what I mean by an odd season is that they won against great top-notch teams. For example, they beat in the Warriors, they beat in the Boston Celtics, and this season they swept the Cleveland Cavaliers all 4 times they played this season. But they also lost to really bad teams, for example the 76ers and teams like the New York Knicks. But if you guys were to ask me about 2 weeks ago when D Wade got injured if they would make the playoffs, I would have said no, because looking at the time, they just weren't winning games and they just weren't performing as good. But then again, if there's one thing I've learned from watching the NBA is that anything can happen, because lately the Bulls been on fire, winning 7 of their last 10 games, and we are seeing a outstanding performance by Nikola Mirotic and Jimmy Butler, and they are currently in the 8th seed as I'm speaking right now. And the thing is, when D Wade got injured, people speculated that he would be out for the rest of the season, but D Wade is expected to make a return before the season end also. So this led me to ask, if Chicago does find some way to creep into the playoffs, how well will they perform? Because we know that during the season they can contend against great teams. I mean, they beat in the Cleveland Cavaliers all 4 times they played this season, and they've been playing exceptionally well lately. So if D Wade comes back, do you think they can possibly knock out one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference? Because if there's one thing I've learned is that anything can happen during the playoffs. And also, looking at the Cavs right now, they are in a weak spot. They're not winning games and they're just not performing how they should near the end of the playoffs. But then again, that's if they even make the playoff, because they're tied for the 8th seed, I think, and there's a lot of teams on their heels still looking to make the playoffs, and these last few games can be the most important game of the season for them, because if they don't win the game, then they could lose all their playoff hopes to the Heat that are right behind them. So these last couple of games can mean it all for Chicago. So let me know what you guys think. If the Chicago Bulls does make the playoffs, do you think they can cause some damage? I'd love to hear you guys out in the comment section below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a big thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel for weekly NBA videos, and also be sure to check out my previous videos. Again, if you guys did enjoy this one, and I hope that you guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Peace.
around again.